Located about 2.5 miles from the coast of Dubai are the World Islands. These islands are small islands intended to represent a mini-world. Every small island represented a country in the world and was named after it. The island was designed to feature several luxurious houses and resorts. The project was announced in 2003, but today, about 20 years after the completion of these islands, they lie empty. What happened here? Before diving deep into the video, remember to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button below for notifications from us. This way, you'll always be notified first whenever we come up with something new. Coming to the islands, in the early 2000s, real estate developers saw an enormous opportunity in creating artificial land off the coast of Dubai. The real estate boom seemed like something that would take Dubai to new heights. The ocean also opened many doors to a bright future of Dubai's economy. Dubai has already started expanding along its coastline. Nakheel Properties, a real estate company owned by the government of Dubai, planned to completely transform the region within just a matter of 20 years. Between 2001 and 2006, a number of plans were announced and the company came up with 3 different island projects that, when viewed from space, should represent the shape of palm trees. The names of the projects were Palm Jumeirah, Palm Jebel Ali, and the largest one of them all, the World, was announced alongside. Low-density housing, high-density complexes, and commercial islands were all planned as part of the project. For the second phase came yet another project, the Universe. This included man-made islands that represent the shape of the Sun, Moon, the planets of the solar system, in fact, even the Milky Way and a faraway galaxy. Following the Palm Jebel Ali, another gigantic project had to be created, the Dubai Waterfront. These islands should be given the shapes of star and crescent moon, both of which form an important symbol in Islam. The construction project was advertised as the largest man-made development project in the world. With all these projects, most of the coast of Dubai was supposed to be transformed. As we look back into the planning of the project, the amount of creativity is mind-blowing. The major purpose that was to be served by the islands was to turn Dubai into a major tourist spot and creating income sources for the country, given the fact that Dubai has... But the islands were seen as prestige projects that served the larger goal of developing Dubai into a major tourist hotspot and thereby creating new income sources for a place that otherwise heavily relies on oil resources. Now let's take a look at what happened to these ambitious plans. In 2001, Nakheel Properties started building the Palm Jumeirah. This project alone would double the length of the coastline of Dubai. In 2006, the land reclamation was completed and the first apartments were already assigned. For those who don't know, land reclamation is a process that involves basically scooping out sand from the sea floors. Sand is then sprayed and brought into shape. The 21st century seemed to have reached a new peak in the rate of growth of Dubai. The real estate market experienced a rapid boom, and a number of prestige projects such as the Burj Khalifa, the largest building in the world, were built. However, things started falling apart after Dubai was hit by a financial crisis, and things started taking an ugly turn for the planners as well as the investors. Given the crisis, the demand for the islands began to fall, and so did the price of the lands. Soon enough, the development of Palm Jebel Ali came to a halt. Nakheel Properties began offering refunds to all the investors. Since then, the project has never seen the light of day. But a declining economic state cannot by itself be catastrophic. A series of disastrous events brought to light all that was to come. A man named John O'Dolan bought the land called Ireland for about £25 million and later committed suicide. Yet another by the name of Safi Qureshi bought Britain and was sent to prison for bouncing checks. Palm Deira faced a similar fate. The land reclamation has begun but hasn't been completed yet. Nakheel had attempted, in 2013, to give another shot at the project by rebranding. Instead of continuing to build new lands, the project was shortened up and is now known as Deira Islands. A mall, a shopping street, and 2 high-rise buildings were meant to be part of this project. Next is the World. Luckily for this one, the creation of lands was done and most of the islands were sold away before the financial crisis. But the crisis hit the project indirectly still, because the islands couldn't be developed further as the investors faced their own problems due to the financial instability. Even though investment was put into projects in Dubai, the world didn't seem to bring in much hope, as there wasn't just enough confidence that the project would yield enough returns. Long-term impacts of the project were also questioned, as there were speculations of the channels between the islands sanding up. Rising sea levels were a huge concern for this project. General issues started sprawling up. Residents at Palm Jumeirah seemed utterly disappointed with the water quality. There were yet many environmental and ecological dangers. The breakwater that was deemed important for the protection of the islands from erosion also disturbed the natural tidal movement. Thus, the seawater started getting stagnant. An originally flat seabed, when gets piled up with an inexplicable amount of sand, inevitably causes an impact on the marine ecology. The islands are composed mostly of sand derived from Dubai's shallow coastal waters. This may lead to destabilization of the coastal soil and eventually lead to an erosion of Dubai's natural coastline. The marine company Penguin Marine had previously warned that the world was sinking back into the sea. According to Penguin Marine, the reason behind this is that the sand used to build the 300 archipelagos is gradually sliding back to the sea. The channels between the islands are filling back in, and if it continues on this way, the entire world will soon be back beneath the surface of the ocean. A strange metaphor for sea level rise, to say the least. A photograph taken from the International Space Station in 2010 was evidence that the waters of the Persian Gulf were actually rising and the islands were starting to disappear. Nakheel, however, disagrees with Penguin Marine, saying, "Our periodical monitoring survey over the past 3 years didn't observe any substantial erosion that requires sand nourishment," a company spokesperson said. Nakheel claims that around 70% of the 300 islands was sold before the islands were reported to be sinking into the sea. They do not, however, dispute the fact that work has stopped, describing it not as dead, but merely in a coma. In spokesperson Graham Lovett's words, "This is a 10-year project which has slowed down," said Graham Lovett, a spokesperson. "This is a project which will be completed." Nakheel denied the allegations made by Penguin Marine and won a trial against them. According to information from NASA, Palm Jumeirah was also sinking at a rate of 5 millimeters per year. According to the conclusions derived from the environmental studies by researcher Bayina Salahuddin, Dubai's beaches lose between 10,000 and 15,000 cubic meters of sand each year. The Palm's construction has seriously jeopardized the natural flow of the wind and has caused the tides to further degrade this rate of erosion. The result is that the sea deposits have moved 40 kilometers over 5 years. There might be a rescue for the sinking islands, though, assuming they are indeed sinking. A company from the Netherlands claims to have a solution. Dutch Docklands, a firm that makes floating islands, wants to help. They recently won a bid to build something called the Floating Proverb, which will be 89 floating islands that, when viewed from the air, will spell an Arab proverb. Even if these consequences have been known for a long time, it is becoming increasingly difficult to market projects that are considered environmentally harmful. Many of the projects promoted in recent years are therefore trying to incorporate environmental compatibility. These islands seem long forgotten and, well, covered in old dust. In addition to this, the cruel living conditions of migrant construction workers and the ruthless behavior of the Crown Prince are topics that are receiving more media coverage and are well overshadowing the almost a generation-old project. Nevertheless, there are yet some development projects on these islands that are bringing new hope and even starting to take shape. Initially, there was only one island that was developed, the villa that served as the show house for the project's promotion. In 2012, the Royal Island Beach Club was opened on Lebanon Island. The club hosts daytime tourists who can reach there by boat. The biggest project, however, was announced in 2014. An Austrian real estate investor has planned to develop a number of projects on the European islands. The project is called The Heart of Europe. Its goal, yet again, is to create kind of a mini version of Europe with luxurious hotels that are inspired by places like Venice or Monaco. In addition to a number of restaurants with European cuisine, the investor also plans to build a plaza on the Swiss island where they are planning to showcase artificial snow falling. The project is currently still under construction and only time will tell whether it will bring the desired economic success. There are risky development projects almost everywhere in the world. It's not surprising that while some fail, many get successful eventually. The new era of development is one of experiments and prestigious projects that often serve a greater role than being financially successful. Their contribution is that they can attract tourists to the region and therefore support the greater local economy in a variety of ways. In addition to attracting tourism, such prestige projects also often serve as national pride, or they intend to symbolize the start of a new era, for example, by using new construction methods or by breaking world records. Now, if Dubai is questioned for creating planned landmarks, then the same criticism must certainly be applied elsewhere as well. But still the question remains how these projects that change the coastal landscape of Dubai will be viewed in retrospect. At a time when Dubai's growth slows down and when the ambitious dream that the city represents stops being built and just has to be lived. Dubai is known for its extravagance. Everything is dreamy and beyond anyone's imagination. One never knows what actually would take place in a city that is so unprecedented in its events. And while the aforementioned projects are on hold, we sincerely hope that the best comes out of it, and we soon see the island seeing the reality that was planned for them. What's your opinion on this? Do you think that these projects were just too much, or do you think that, just like another success story, this has its own share of fallouts? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, make sure to turn on the bell below. This way, you'll always be notified when we come up with something new and interesting.